Sinners and saints, dust off those horns and halos. It's time for Alan After Dark.
Sinners and saints. I don't know about you guys, but the time change back to standard time is absolutely killing my ass. I am waking up too early. I'm feeling tired at 7 p.m. and I'm just ready to choke people. I hate standard time. I like daylight savings time. But anyway, maybe the bonus is that here I am awake and I'm doing this special test of the software that I use to record my podcast. And we're going to see if it's working. And in this quick time frame, I'm putting together a mini episode just to entertain all you sinners and saints and bitches and taints, and just testing to see where this will go. So if you hear an alarm go off in the background, that is time for me to wake up. So I have beaten my alarm by at least 25 minutes, and we'll see what fits. You know, I almost forgot that it was No Shave November. I got to tell you this. I am already not shaving my face, and I do believe I won't give up shaving my balls. All right? All right. Because I don't like hairy bush. Wait a minute. Hairy bush. Is that a drag king? I meant I don't like my pubic area to be mistaken for a Sasquatch, if that makes any sense. So do all of you celebrate and practice No Shave November? I'm just curious about that. In case you're wondering why I'm doing this mini episode, it's because there was an upgrade in the software that I use for recording the podcast, and there was a huge malfunction, and I have totally lost an entire episode. So this mini episode is designed to make sure that the software is working correctly, and it will work when I re-record the episode that I lost. It really does suck because there was some good material on that one. And while I'll reproduce it, you all know that I do this as stream of consciousness. I just talk and say whatever comes to mind. And it's not done with a script, so I can't just read off what I spoke last time without actually writing it all down, listening to this really bad audio that sounds like I'm in a sack about 200 feet down into the ocean being harassed by octopi or octopuses. Is it octopuses or octopi? Well, put that in your pussy and pop it. What the episode that was lost is about is this horrendous, repulsive topic, a 4-letter word that I just find repugnant. No, I'm not talking about dick, fuck, or suck. I'm talking about LOVE. Yeah, that's what it's going to be about. And I don't know how you all feel about that word or that emotion, but I have, no pun intended, strong feelings about it. And I am willing now, I think, after this many episodes of Alan After Dark, to talk about some of my history with the subject of love. And I'll just be honest with you here, it ain't pretty. I would rather have no nut November than talk about love, but I think maybe not only will I get something out of it, a therapeutic benefit, but I think maybe some of you will too. At least I hope you do. So that's coming up next week, and I guess I'm giving you the chance to think about it and dread that episode. But hopefully you'll laugh. We might make it something like a Jerry Springer episode. Maybe I'll start throwing chairs and smashing bottles and telling you that you're the father of my baby that really isn't my baby. It's one that I stole from somebody at a park on a Tuesday while drunk on mimosas. Is that what rich women that walk in the park drink? Do they shoot tequila? Do you guys like El Jimador? I like El Jimador Silver tequila. I think it's so smooth and you can really shoot it straight without worrying about even salt and lime. But I do like my salt and lime. And do not chill that stuff. Bitches, I will have to cut you if you do that. So how are we doing so far? I think we're at least 5 minutes in, counting all the pauses and the uhs and the ands and the so's. And I think it sounds okay. I've still got like 12 minutes to go here, and I might be able to pull a whole full episode out of this rambling train wreck of a conversation. What do you think? I'm not sure yet. Jesus Christ, I just realized in all that yammering that I hadn't opened my Diet Pepsi yet. I have to have my Diet Pepsi, and yes, I do drink one right when I wake up. And I guess that's the irony of calling this podcast Alan After Dark, is that I'm actually recording this early in the morning, before 5 a.m., which I guess isn't really after dark. It's not before dark, though, is it? So there is a ironic kind of play with the title of my podcast, isn't there? What is Alan After Dark? Well, honestly, if I really wanted to define the title of the podcast, it means that it's things that we do in the dark, really. It's after a return from daylight to dark. So it's after dark begins, if that makes any sense. And it probably doesn't. This rambling train wreck of a mess could be considered the Hindenburg of this podcast. And if you ask me what the Hindenburg is, go back to bed, honey, before your mom has to come up and change your diapers. That made no sense either, did it? Jesus Christ, Alan. Maybe I should be drinking this morning. I don't know. Gosh, I'm wearing a jacket because I'm getting ready to head out, and I need to take it off because it's too hot today. But I digress. I am looking forward to the weekend, a weekend of football and happy hour and drinks. But I'll tell you this, I'm not looking forward to the hangovers. I think as we get older, when you're young, and when I say young, I mean under 23, well, under 25. And when you're young, it seems like you can get yourself plastered and almost be passed out and recover quickly the next day. But when you get older, it's almost like I need a forklift to pull me out of the bed, and I beg Dr. Frankenstein to give me a new brain. It just totally wears you out and melts you down. I don't get it. I don't understand it at all. But it happens. It really does happen. And I'm sorry, I'm distracted by a text message. And I'm like, why am I getting a text message at 4:45 in the morning? But I did. And I have other friends who are undead. And we're all like zombies. And we never sleep. So welcome to your future, bitches. What is your future? If you're still alive, 3 hours of sleep a night, restless leg syndrome, bodily noises that you have no clue where they're coming from. Stairs become mountains. Bathtubs are aggressively dangerous. And let me tell you this. I'm a person who I can't, people will, sometimes you trip and you fall. I can't just trip and fall. I slipped in my bathroom a few years ago, and it wasn't just a slip and fall to the floor. No, I have to bring down a shower curtain, a towel rod, I'll nearly tear the toilet off of its foundation, if you can do that. I can't just fall like a normal person. I have to create a 6.0 on the Richter scale or something like that. It really is remarkable how my body can do that. Like, I think I mentioned it before when, I was one time, I just had to go get me some sodas. I had to go get me some Diet Pepsi. I was carrying that 24-pack cube to the car, and I can't just fall with it. No, I have to stumble about 100 yards falling forward until I drop the cube, hit the ground on my hands. The cube breaks and cans of Diet Pepsi roll all over the damn parking lot. So not only am I humiliated from the fall, I have $10 worth of Diet Pepsi running around like loose sheep out of their pen. Jesus. But that's the way my life is. I mean, I would be confused if my life felt normal. I'll give you another example. One time, I was going to meet my boss for dinner. This was a long time ago. I was going to meet him for dinner, and I was waiting for him outside the restaurant. And this was in an area of town that's considered, well, it's cool, but it's trendy, but it's historical as well. So I'm standing outside the restaurant waiting for him to get there. And, well, he's not my boss now. He was back then. And he was a moron. Actually, he may be dead now. Anyway, I was waiting for him, and he was always late, and he could never find anything. He was always getting lost, even though he should have known the area like the back of his hand. And as I'm standing there waiting for him outside the restaurant, being a target for him to see, this guy, I notice him walking up the street, he is pulling a rocking horse on a leash. So, it's making that scraping noise against the sidewalk. And I'm like, okay, this is really different, isn't it? And he's approaching me, and I'm getting a little nervous. He looks a little ragged, like he might be a homeless person with some mental health issues. And he comes right up to me. He stops right in front of me, and he turns and he looks right into my eyes, the leash in hand, the rocking horse pulled behind him. And he says, "Will you watch my phone?" And I'm like, sure. And he just turns and walks on, pulling his rocking horse on the leash. And that was the point where I decided I would go inside the restaurant and wait for him and text him that to get his ass down there as fast as he could and come inside, because I wasn't staying outside anymore, because I'd caught the eye of a man pulling a rocking horse on a leash. Jesus. Another time, I was invited to this Christmas party downtown at this really swanky hotel, and I pull into the parking lot of the hotel, and as I'm locking the door of my car, I turn around, and out of nowhere, there's a man in this brown coat standing there. I'm startled, and he just pulls up a bag that's in his hand, and he says, "Do you want to see what's in my bag?" And I'm like, holy shit, it's probably a dead cat or something. So I'm like, I'm fine. Security! And I run to the front of the hotel. Like, my God, why is it me that always attracts this type of incident? If you remember my Halloween episodes, I referred to myself as a magnet for paranormal or supernatural things. Well, guess what? I appear to be a magnet for everything else you can think of, including, okay, I'll just say it, psychos. Okay, there, I said it. Come and get me. So I hope you are not just thinking, my God, Alan needs mental help right now after hearing this little segment of this mini episode. But what I'm hoping is that with this crazy randomness is that I've proven that the software is working and we can get on with the regular Alan After Dark podcast. If not, I'll have to continue working on the quality of the software and figure out what in the hell to do. So I hope you've got something out of this. If you haven't, well, maybe you've laughed a little bit. I'm hoping that I've made you laugh enough to make you pee yourself, but I'm not that funny. If we had Chadwick on this episode, you would be laughing until you peed. Maybe one of these days I'll talk to you about an incident with a lame-ass old friend who earned the nickname Toast. Boy, would that be a story for you guys to hear. It would be astounding. I wonder where that little bitch is these days. That blood-sucking leech sucking off the teats of his parents. He's 45 years old and he never really has had a job. Yeah, Toast. And as we close out on this quick mini episode, we'll see what happens with it. We'll see if it does work, and we will hopefully move forward with not so random crazy episodes. But my apologies there. That was my alarm going off, so we have met the deadline for this mini episode. So I guess I was timing that pretty good there. While it was absolutely a lunatic few minutes there, I hope you've had some fun and been entertained. It's not going to be the same wonderful little closing that we have for every episode, but maybe I'll fit it in. Remember to take life by the balls and be real. And we'll see you soon.